Tune in. The Black Hair Party presents the Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. Right here is your host, JRX36. We got Jacob IU, and
You,
this is an All Ages Alliance production.
and we are headed in the past. Let's go to do-do-do. Let's see, maybe day 105. Did I do day 105 yesterday?
No.
Let's see what day 105 is about.
And then you'll be able to go off of that and write the sentences, and then
Yeah.
strong will, and then I'm able to build relationships with the women of all walks of life who we all been through something, and majority of the women that
They probably have it. I thought I heard them. Do they? Do you use your remote?
I don't think so. They got their own remotes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a boxing. No, not boxing the box. Not boxing the box. Box, not boxing the box. All right. Okay, let's check out why this one was short. Why were you so sure? Let's skip to the end.
Tune in.
Oh, I started to mess up. Okay, so I started to mess up. So let's go ahead and give this one a chance. Let's see. Bang,
Leadership.
bang, bang, bang.
Tune in. The Black Hair Party presents JRX36, the Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose.
And today we're going to be talking about followership. Followership.
Again.
Followership. What's followership? Followership is different than leadership. What's leadership? So when I think of a leader, I think of a person that solves problems. When I think of a follower, I think of a person that finds problems. One is good at spotting solutions. Another is good at spotting problems. What are you good at spotting? Are you good at spotting problems? Then maybe you are suited to be a great follower. Are you good at spotting solutions? Then maybe you're very well suited to be in leadership. A lot of times people try to call themselves leader or force themselves into a leadership role when it's not their thing. It's not what they're necessarily into. They may be better suited for followership, but followership has gotten a bad rap. Followership has gotten a bad reputation, or followership has gotten
Or leadership has gotten a great reputation to say the same thing. But some people may be a better number 2 than a number 1, or a better number 100 than a number 3 or 4.
negative ideas associated with it, which pushes people away from it towards leadership. And then you run into the situation where you have many individuals trying to lead and not enough individuals following. So what does that mean? That means you got individuals that are determined to give their input towards solution when they haven't really been thinking about it. If you haven't been thinking about how to solve a problem, your input isn't as valuable as someone who's been focused on trying to solve the problem, because then you're going to be giving weak recommendations. What's a weak recommendation? A weak recommendation is a not well thought out solution.
Now, I'm not saying that you can't gain skills in a different industry that you can bring into this industry, if you want to call it that. That could be effective. Yeah, definitely. And a lot of skills are transferable. So if you're able to solve problems in a different area, then you may be very well at spotting problems in another area. So I don't want to take away from that. That is possible for people that haven't been specifically thinking of the thing you've been thinking about, that can contribute to it.
To a problem. All right. It's important that you're honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Start by saying that. It's important that you're honest with yourself and that you're able to self-identify what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. Some of you are going to be better suited focusing on your weaknesses. Some of you will be better suited focusing on your strengths. Regardless of whether you focus on your strengths or your weaknesses, it's important to be able to make a fair assessment of what your capabilities are. Otherwise,
Follow your triggers. If you're triggered by something, if you sense a deep emotion, if you sense an emotion based on a word or a conversation, then that's where you got to be honest with yourself. If you're not feeling nothing, all right, cool. But if you're getting triggered, if you're having emotions, if you're having thoughts, excessive thoughts, if it's disrupting you, disrupting your flow, if it's disrupting your day, if it's showing up when it often didn't show up, then you got to be honest about that. And then that's an area that you could work on.
you may be missing out on growth based on not being able to focus on the specific things that will cause you to be stronger and or cause you to overcome some of your weaknesses. There's different kinds of followers, and this is important to know. When I think of followers, you're gonna have your best follower. The best follower are those individuals that are actively engaged and actively thinking. I guess you want me to look at you in the eyes? I guess I need to look into you into the eyes. I'd be all up in the screen, not giving you that eye contact. Well, I'm giving you eye contact now. So okay, maybe I'll put myself right over here. Oh. Let's see. This is the light. It's the light. It's the light. Oh. Okay. That works. That works. That works. Okay. So I was talking about the different kind of followers. There are the followers that are actively engaged and actively thinking about, let's say the business vision and the business or the organizational mission. These individuals are getting work done, and you can rely and or count on them to continue to get work done over time. These individuals are crucial to the success of an organization. As a leader, you want to develop these individuals. You want to be available to them, to be supportive, to reward and appreciate and essentially love on them. They are the individuals that make your organization tick. Because of them, the organization is. These are your what they call exemplary followers, the best followers. They're going to give you feedback. They'll be honest with you. They'll challenge you in a positive way. They'll offer constructive criticism that will be important to move the organization towards its goals, towards meeting its goals. And if
not to suggest that one is right or the other is wrong. However, it is a perspective that has been created based on experiences within the organization.
And if you don't, as a leader, take care of these individuals, you run the risk of alienating them. You run the risk of pushing them away and causing them to essentially become sabotagers of the organization. Why do I say sabotagers? Because they will disengage, they won't be actively working towards the organizational goals, yet they will still be thinking critically and expressing their views in a antisocial way. What I mean by antisocial? By antisocial, I mean they're gonna be sabotaging the bid. They're gonna be talking, they'll have a negative critique or a negative perspective, a negative outlook on every situation that occurs within the organization. And they're gonna share that view with their peers, and they're essentially going to cause discord amongst the employees. And this happens when a leader doesn't take care of its best followers, when it is unable to meet the needs of its best followers. So it's important as a leader to be conscious of who are your best followers, and you want to take care of them. Because if you don't take care of them, they will become alienated and essentially sabotage your business and the organization. And if we're talking about a family, this is that middle child, that second born, that you haven't given attention to, like you have to your firstborn, and now they essentially become the rebel of the family. They become what they call the black sheep.
Not every second born. Let's clear that up. Sometimes you could be the black sheep and be the third or the fourth or the fifth one. And sometimes even the first one could be the black sheep. But who wants to be called a sheep? Bad. We're calling them the crowd. Who wants to be part of the crowd?
We like black sheep out here. You know, black sheep's just are good people that, you know, just want to be heard. Good people that just want an opportunity to express themselves and contribute to the goals of the group.
And
Okay. So you have this individual who's been an exemplary leader, an exemplary follower. They
my main patron, the book, the blue one, is of a sheep, a black sheep.
become alienated due to neglect or due to the quality of attention that the leader gives them. And then for whatever reason, you know, due to separation, this individual can become not just inactive, but also will stop thinking critically, which may be better for them to not think critically and not be engaged and essentially be passive recipients of services, even though they should be active givers of service. But they will essentially become weights that other organization, you know, individuals will have to carry. They'll become a burden to the leaders of that organization. However, although they are burdened, they may not be a burden that necessarily sabotages or causes problems within the organization. They'll just require work, you know, to care for, to pay attention to give attention to. You know, and then you have those individuals that, if you're lucky, if you're fortunate, if you're emotionally intelligent, you could move towards being active. And you know, at best, if they become active and they're not critical thinking, then they're great at following instructions, and they can get the job done. It won't challenge you, but the quality of the work may not be up to par, may not be what you would expect, because they're not necessarily thinking about it. They're doing just enough. They're showing up and they're giving you their 8 hours and not a minute more, not a minute less, and then they're out, you know, and ready to go to their next adventure, to do their next thing. So, you know, that's a little bit on the types of followers. You know, these followers can be broken down into personality types, you know, if you want to call it that. Like, let's call you exemplary leaders ought to be your confidants. What's a confidant? The confidants are a small number of people that you can count on to be there for you, to essentially have your back. You know, these individuals can have your back through challenging times. And a confidant that you don't give attention to, or that essentially feels betrayed, can become a comrade. And comrades are, you know, one thought away from being your enemy. You know, a confidant has your same goals in mind. They are choosing to work with you towards the same end. A comrade may be working with you because it is what's best suited for them at the moment, and your mission may be in alignment with theirs, or at the very least, they may be in opposition to one of their other enemies. So, you know, if you have a confidant, it's worth giving them attention so as to not create a comrade. However, you can still work with a comrade. So with confidants, you collaborate with confidants. With comrades, you just expect cooperation. That's the best you could expect. It's just for them to cooperate. And you have constituents and individuals that, you know, you could compete with, and a friendly competition. You know, constituents would be those individuals that are engaged, maybe not thinking critically, but you can create competitions within that group, so as to develop talent and cause the talent pool to mature and to increase. Whereas with comrades, you know, you're not necessarily dealing in the realm of talent or giftedness. You're more dealing with those that have felt outcasts in some way, shape, or form in that same organization or another organization. Ultimately, you want to find out and discover what is the storyline of each individual and the groups within the organization. What's your storyline?
What's your story?
You a confidant? Are you someone's confidant? Are you looking for confidants? Confidants, that's the holy grail of fellowship. In fact, that confidants make the world go round. Those are your best mentors, your best coaches. You know, those are the individuals that are far and few in between. They're not.
You said mentors and didn't correct yourself. What's the word now? What's the word now? What's the influence? Mentor. Let's call them influencer.
Many
Let's call them influencers. Mentors, influence. Yeah, mentors, influencer. Let's call them influencers.
confidants that
Leaders are influencers, so then there's levels to influences, but this could be the confidant influence.
come into your life. Some individuals are lucky; they'll have, confidant after confidant after confidant that come in right at the right moment, and you want to take care of those relationships. Those individuals will keep you sane, will keep you grounded, will keep you humble. They'll know how to speak to you so that you can be inspired when maybe you need to get moving. They'll help you focus your attention on the actions necessary to be able to make the choice, to be able to have the impact that you're looking to have. Yeah. So that's a little bit on fellowship, and then so in contrast to fellowship, we have leadership, and then the idea, and we've been talking about this, and I'm just going over and over and over again just to be able to speak more on it because it takes repetition. So when you're looking to create a mindset, we're looking to develop. We're looking to help those with a growth mindset develop a belief system that then they can ground, they can believe, and they can hold on to. So repetition is important in the reprogramming of your identity, of your mindset. And essentially, that's what we're doing here. We're here. We're just reprogramming your mindset to one that will allow you to save time. Why save time? Because why not? If there's one thing that I would like is to save time. It's not necessarily more money because you could make good business moves and that can result into increasing wealth. But can't make time. You can only save and protect the time that you have. Can't make new time. Time is something that comes to all of us equally, and we have to be good stewards of the time that we're given. You got 24 hours like everybody else.
The way to make new time is to save existing time. So it's about getting as fit as possible so as to not have to dedicate much energy to recovering from the activities of the day. It's about what you expose your body to in the form of nutrition, whether it's through your mouth or on the skin, and ultimately how you go about vibrating throughout the day. You vibing high, you vibing low. Are you disrupting the lives of others? Are you disrupting your own life?
What you want to do? You got to rest. You got to eat. You got to shower. You got to basically take care of yourself, exercise.
Conscious movements, conscious expressions, conscious exposures. There's some basic movements you got to do every day. You got to be conscious of that. Conscious expressions, conscious exposure. So what are you saying to others, and what are others saying to you, and what are you exposing yourself to? Physically, mentally, emotionally, all of it.
And then you got some time to focus on something that you want to build. You have an opportunity to build an identity based on the actions that you take, based on the passions that you focus on, and you can live with purpose. You can create order in your life. You can pursue pleasures based on values. So you have an opportunity to form focus.
Focus.
Form focus.
Form focus.
Guess I'll just keep it short and sweet. We'll leave it at that for now. As I close, I want to just focus and zero in on the idea of storyline. Every moment you are contributing to your storyline. Your storyline is that story that your children's children will speak about you, and it doesn't have to be a complicated story. In fact, it's going to be quite simple. It won't encompass the fullness of who you are, but it will encompass the essence of who you've attempted to be, or who you practice to be. So as you go about living life, practicing being the best version of yourself, young ones, be conscious of the storyline that you are offering. Be conscious of the risks that you are taking and the sacrifices that you're making when you pursue one direction versus another. It's not about right or wrong for me. It's about being in the right place at the right time. And sometimes being in the right place at the right time is just about being self-aware. And when
let's clear that up. It is about right or wrong. And I mean, if wrong means disrupting the vibes of others without their permission, then I call that wrong. I think we ought not disrupt the vibes of others without permission. So all that to say, we must get consent. If we're not getting consent in our interactions, to do things that can potentially cause disruptions, then that ain't no good. That ain't no good.
Self-aware, there's a pressure that's lifted off being right and being wrong, and there's this focus on experiencing ease, living with joy, and then to live with joy and to be at ease causes an intrinsic motivation to occur, and to be motivated intrinsically allows you to be in a position to create to create or live according to the procedures that will increase your wages, increase access to the pleasures that come with pursuing and or practicing your passions.
When someone's not motivated intrinsically, rather they're motivated extrinsically, it's like you just got to plant seeds. And what I mean by planting seeds is you just have to share ideas that could benefit or improve their lives at a very superficial level, at a relatively slow pace, non-pressure causing, and just plant seeds and be kind and patient, and over time that seed will begin to develop into a plant, a tree, etc., and give fruit.
We'll leave it at that for today. I'm about to go nap some more, and I wish you all the best.
Work.
Jaden. I have Jaden come tune me out. Tune in. The Black Carrot Party presents the Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. Can you tune me out? And I was playing in the background, so.
That was your host, JRX36, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time or 12 a.m. We will see you then. Take care now. Goodbye.
Is Jaden in the room or is Jaden in there? Is that him coming out right there?
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? JJJ, tune me out.
Tune out. The Black Hair Party presents The Real has presented The Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. That was your host, JRX36, and our guest, Jacob Ayu, and we will see you next morning or next time. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Wow.
Deuces.
Dos from 2 to 1.